Mr. Reggie Booby Wins in the house.
What up, dude?
Big time.
Double D, Merry Christmas.
We back to Christmas again, huh?
Yeah, make you smile when we talk about Christmas every day.
Yeah, I need a few smiles. And we want to apologize to you fans out there. As you know, when you're doing things such as radio and TV and podcasts, sometimes we have technical difficulties. So starting a little late tonight, guys, but we're rolling. And big show tonight, as always. We've got my man, Mr. Brandon Hunter from the Michigan Chronicles, going to be joining us. And for those that know Brandon, you know that in Detroit, he's a staple in the community. In addition to him being a journalist and covering the sports scene, especially with football and basketball, Brandon does a lot with trying to help the community raise funds for a lot of different events, cleats for kids, and he does a lot of different things. So he's a great young man, and I know you know Brandon.
Yes, Brandon's a great dude. I miss him during the football world.
I know. Michigan Chronicle just took him away from us a little bit.
Yeah, we used to always compete with Oakland County and Wayne County.
All our little different debates.
Oh, no doubt.
Mr. Pro Detroit King himself, but he definitely supports the school, as he should. Mm-hmm. And we happen to have Brandon. We're happy to have Brandon call in tonight. But before we go with Mr. Hunter, just a few different things that happened over the weekend, and we're going to kick it off with the NFL playoffs. And
it was a good one. If you love football, this past weekend was the best weekend of your football life. And,
amazing. One for us old guys.
Yeah.
Mr. Tom Brady.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
Yeah, I'm an underdog, so I want the underdog to win, you know.
So who did you have? I mean, so you had
I had KC and Indianapolis. Not Indianapolis, but the Rams.
You had okay.
So I went down, but I do like Drew Brees.
Okay.
And I wanted him to kind of, win, but I didn't want the GOAT to win.
Man, the GOAT, man. You can't take it away from Tom.
No, you can. And Bill Belichick,
Exactly.
The different ones, the winning ones.
That's
the
right.
Ones that act different are different are the winners. I mean, we can go down the list and point them out to Harbaughs and a few other guys that's out there winning, and he's doing a phenomenal job with them New England Patriots, and they're going back and forth to the Super Bowl. So all I want is a great Super Bowl now. I don't care who win. What else I do?
Who you got?
I don't know, man. It's hard.
We better Mountain Dew or something. Who you got?
I don't want New England.
But who you got? That's what I'm you got New England or the Rams. It's real simple.
I'm gonna take the Rams. I'm gonna go underdog.
Okay. Well, we got to come up with a wager because I got to go.
Oh no, you could put on a Point Northern shirt.
You
can wear
I don't know if I can do
shirt.
that. Look, I don't even own red and white. I'm lying, but
I can find you a Point Northern hat or something.
Well, we may have to do that. What about you wear a Chief 85 jersey?
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
You wear the Northern number 11.
I'm good. We make it happen.
Chicken wing.
We can make it happen. That's a done deal.
That's a done deal.
Pound.
That's a bet.
Okay, we good. We on. We on. So hey, but what did you think about the call in the Saints game?
The missed call? Yeah, he missed that call. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it was a bad call. He missed it, and then unfortunately went the other way. But I mean, we don't know if he's going to score or not. But you don't know what could have happened. It was a call that was missed.
Exactly.
And it should have been called. And you should fire the referee, Brandon. You need to fire him.
Well, I mean, they always say what I was told or what I've been taught is it should never. You got to play above those particular things. It should never come down to one play.
Yeah.
So what about the play that Coach missed, where he threw the ball instead of running the ball, which would have actually helped run the clock?
Yeah, but that's part of the game, though. That's part of the game. If he missed a call, I mean, it is what it is now. I mean, we can't do it now. They should have called it.
Right.
It's very obvious,
right.
But they missed that call. So
No doubt.
I don't know. Man, that was a bad call.
No, it was one of the most. It was probably the worst call that I've seen.
A missed call, you're right.
And then in any sport. I mean, I don't know what they was thinking. I don't know. The refs was dibbing and dabbing a few different things before the game, but that can't happen. Now they're talking about Reg possibly reviewing at the end with 2 minutes left in the game any call.
That's too much. That's too much.
Yeah, but it's too much money on the line, man.
Yeah. What it wasn't when we played. It didn't make a difference. This call was a call. Let's roll. Next play.
Yeah, but I mean, people's careers depends on these type of things.
And they still getting their check.
Yeah, they get their check. But
on
some
the-
guys, I mean, you work for this to get to the Super Bowl, and because of one call, I mean, who's to say that they would have scored after this? Anything could have happened after that.
No doubt.
But we dealing with the subject at hand.
I think they're gonna kick a field goal anyway. It make a difference.
Yeah, well.
So,
Okay.
Hey, take their lumps and go home, players.
Well, here's my thoughts. Again, I've got Brady beating the Rams, and I'm going to tell you why. The Rams, even though they're playing great defense, you're giving Bill Belichick 2 weeks to prepare for a young quarterback.
Okay.
And if big fella ain't running that rock for the Rams, I think they're in for a long night, man. I think this could possibly be a blowout.
Ooh,
That's my prediction.
Nah, no blowout.
That's my prediction.
So you giving me points then? What?
Nope, I'm not giving you anything.
Okay, I'm saying you said
Only thing
blowout.
I'm gonna give you is a Chief jersey
I say
with 85 on it.
No. I'm gonna figure you believe it. So you think you believe in them like that? Give me
okay.
some. Give me some. My grandma said,
Nope.
give me some points.
No, I got some points for you.
Give me some points.
And the point is, it's gonna be a blowout. So we'll see.
We'll see. More definitely.
So that's coming up 2 weeks. Excited for the Super Bowl. And then shifting gears, Reg, you had a combine, the Martin Luther King Rising Stars combine that was this past Monday.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
MLK Camp have been honoring Martin Luther King and unity, and we had this is probably I think my 8th year doing it, and it's getting better. Got about 6 or 7 offers out of the camp. Like to get more,
Right.
but it's I want to get more kids committed to being a football player every day, not just the time you get an offer. So I'm hoping all these guys is there, but it was great and. Some good players there, some fast guys there.
Right.
DJ Hamler ran a 4.3.
Wait. Who would you say again?
DJ Hamler from Waterford Kettering ran a 4.32.
Yes, he did.
And David Holloman, sophomore, out of Avondale, he ran a 4.4 flat and a 4.45. And then Marcel Duncan from Chippewa, defensive back, ran a 4.43, and overly impressive. There was a few more 4.45s and 4.6s, but DJ Hamlin can't take it away. He ran a 4.32.
Right.
It was hand time, but he ran it. And then David ran a 4.4. That's a big boy. He'd been in 10th grade.
No doubt.
Now he's not fast as his brother. Now his brother ran.
No, his brother was what, a 4.3 kid?
No.
What did he run?
His brother ran a 4.19 hand time.
Oh my
He ran a
God.
4.2 electric at the Army Combine.
Jesus.
So there's not too many guys gonna outrun that kid.
No
that
doubt.
kid right now, I think he's declaring for the pros.
Okay,
And,
because he's at Eastern now, right?
He's at Eastern and running track as well. But he's probably running hands down a low 4.2.
Okay,
I mean, he's that fast.
Yeah, he
probably
is.
about 6 feet, about 210, 215.
no doubt.
Good looking kid. Wish him the best. But the camp was great. No matter what's around you, you go through them and enjoy the camp. And the camp was great. Over 15 coaches there. Wish more coaches were there. The weather kind of changed some things up. But we made it do what it do. And was proud of my staff. And my wife ran her first registration. Yeah, that was interesting.
Shout out to
yeah.
Danielle.
Yeah, I appreciate it. She
No
did a
doubt.
great job for the first time under that pressure.
Right.
And pressure break pipes, and she prevailed, and she did a great job, and I appreciate it.
No doubt.
All my teammates, and Vanessa, and Judy, and Nate, and Bridget, and I'm missing Vanessa's cousin, her cousin,
Say her
Miss
cousin.
Pooh.
Okay.
So I appreciate you guys. So camp went well. Had some one-on-ones was good. Got a lot of video out there, footage out there. So we'll be back next year, and then we're
Sure.
working on another camp in December early. And I'm thinking about doing a showcase in Saginaw or Bay City
Okay.
in February, beginning March.
Okay.
So see how that works out.
Great. Well, hey, great turnout, man. I think you had over 200 kids.
230, something like that.
Okay. Well, hey, I mean, to see those kids shine, man. I mean, and people don't understand how one event. You talked about DJ, how one event from a kid that a lot of people really don't know, been under the radar, how one event can just change things.
Oh, I no doubt about it.
You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of something like what you give with a combine, one event, and it could just change the game for you.
And it's an unsigned camp, an unsigned senior. You know, there's a lot of guys that didn't show up, and also a lot of guys that don't have offers. So every opportunity you present yourself, we hope you take advantage of it.
No doubt.
And whether it's with me or whoever, you know, but take every advantage, every opportunity because you owe that to yourself.
Definitely.
So keep doing what you're doing and do more to be successful.
Right. What we want to do, next we're going to bring Mr. Brandon Hunter onto the show. But I do want to take a quick break before we bring Brandon in. And like I said, he's going to share his expertise as far as being a journalist in the Detroit area. And we'll talk about some of the kids that he's covered over the years and some other things that he's doing. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the Prep Stars Football Report.
How you doing? This is Rashawn Goldsmith, father of Xavier Goldsmith, and you're listening to the Prep Stars Football Report.
Look for Starbucks coffee in a grocery store near you.
Dramatic.
Introducing the 2019 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. If you like sculpted lines, you'll love its dynamic design. In a world of asphalt, gravel, and snow, Super All-Wheel Control will save the day. Or maybe Stephanie will find romance where she least expects it.
Okay.
With a dual-pane panoramic sunroof. What? And a fully loaded, technologically advanced cockpit that will transport you to another universe. Audiences agree. With a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty, the Eclipse Cross is a must-see. Now showing at a dealership near you.
That was great. Cool. My cheeks are like...
Her cheeks are on fire.
It's just like this car. It's pretty epic.
This car is as epic as my voice.
Test drive a new crossover at your local Mitsubishi dealer.
And welcome back to the Prep Stars Football Report. Again, I'm your host, Derek Denham, and I got my man, Mr. Reggie Booby Wins. But we want to introduce our esteemed guest, Mr. Brandon Hunter from the Michigan Chronicle. What's up, B. Hunt?
What's up, man? I was listening to y'all over here laughing. Reggie was talking about the Oakland County Detroit.
Oh, man.
Battle we had.
You know it.
I got a lot of flack for that.
I know you did.
Hey, that's something Reg hangs his hat on is Oakland County versus Wayne County. B. Hey, we put it out there a few weeks ago. We like, hey, what can we do to get a Wayne County versus Oakland County 7-on-7 or something where we can get a little showcase going?
Right. I mean, that would be nice, because we always talking about Detroit versus everybody, and that include Oakland and Macomb County, too.
Right, no exactly. So what's going on in your world, man? I mean, you were doing some things. I know you were doing some things more on the sports side with who were you with, Brandon, before the Michigan Chronicle?
Everybody. Michigan Prep.
Michigan Preps.
Michigan Preps.
Okay. So you with them? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was with them. I was with State Champs. I was working for the Wolverine.com. Just freelancing and just trying to make my way.
Right.
That's what I was doing. Yep.
Well, we miss you, man. I mean, I'm used to, seeing you. I know you're doing your thing with Michigan Chronicle. So.
Hey, I know I miss you, man. We used to piss some people to city off, baby. So I miss you, baby.
And that's funny because that's how I started into journalism, by going to these high school games, and I never missed a football game or a basketball game. Never.
Yeah.
And I haven't been to one in a minute. So
wow.
It's different for me.
Yeah.
I know we miss you. We do.
So what are you doing at the Michigan Chronicle? Tell us a little bit about the people that's listening
Everything.
and watching.
So I'm a journalist, obviously, but
sure.
I cover, usually, you have your niche. You might be a sports writer or a business writer, but me, I do everything for the Chronicle. I cover sports, not as much as I used to.
Right.
I cover business, community, politics, you name it. Whatever they want me to do, I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Jack of all trades, huh? I like that.
Jack of all trades, yeah. I do
like
it all.
that.
So, B, I know your story, but for those that don't know, how, because I've seen some things, man, that's the beauty of social media. You can peek into people's worlds and kind of get their story. And I know your story. And if you don't mind, share with us, man, you know, because you had some humble beginnings that people don't know about. If you don't mind sharing, and then how where you went from and to where you at now. Tell the people about that and how you got into the game.
Yeah, and that's why I like to be more transparent now, because people knew of me, but they never knew my story, so I like to be more transparent. And,
sure.
So I'm from the east side of Detroit, proud of it, and I had some hardships. I kind of grew up in a broken home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, never met my dad, wasn't really close with my mom. I lived with my grandparents, and my grandma died. I was in 10th grade. My mama had cancer when I was in 10th grade, so I barely finished high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, was just trying to find my way, experiencing some homelessness, unemployment, everything. I was sleeping outside at one point, getting in trouble.
Right.
And I was just trying to find my way, but I always had a good head on my shoulder. I was just a victim and of my circumstances, But I didn't let that define me. And then I met Jeff Corey. So everybody knows Jeff Corey.
D-Zone. Right.
Yep. And I promise you, I owe Jeff everything, because, like I say, me from the east side of Detroit, we knew of journalists, but I didn't know how to connect with these guys. And I just met Jeff Corey on Facebook one day.
Wow.
Messaged him. He asked me, could I help him out down in Detroit? And I said, yeah. And the first game I went to was Cass and King. I went to King, too.
Right.
And that's the first game I went to, and that's how I kind of got my name out there, working with Jeff in the D-Zone and, working through these internships with rivals. Tim Sullivan, the first one gave me my internship at Michigan, Wolverine.com, working with state champs and Tom Markowski. Then Jim Kilbasso gave me, let me run the Michigan Prep. So, I've just been grinding this for about 2012. 2013.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, that's just, again, we put such an emphasis, Reg, on the actual sports of, people playing the game. Well, here's a brother that has a love for the game, but he's doing more so on the other side of it.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? And I think about B, just from a personal standpoint, Brandon was always the guy you could go to and say, B, hey, man, what do you think about this kid? Hey, give us your insight, you know what I mean? Because he was in the game, and he would write about different kids that people may not have heard about otherwise.
Yeah. I'm just proud of B, because, B showed his passion in his work, and he loved what he did. And through all the prosperities he went through, all the things he went through in life, he's here where he at now because of what he's been through. And the sky is the limit for him now. He's going to continue growing. So I'm proud of B. I've been knowing you. I call you, hey, man, write this for me, man. Talk about this kid.
Right.
Who's this kid?
Yep.
I just look for you, man. I'm looking for you. I see you on Facebook, you and your son, but I'm like, where my man at?
Right.
I know, man. Life's changed.
Hey, he just, he moving on up.
I know.
You forgetting about the little people now. I mean, because when I was with the fan, Brandon came on the show, and, Brandon was one of the first people to write about KJ.
Yeah.
I was the first one, 8th grade,
Yeah, see?
I remember that.
Hey, Brandon is one of those things, because I think, Brandon, what you knew about people like me and Reg, we wasn't going to come to you with no garbage. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, we may love you or whatnot, but if you can't ball, we not going to bat for you. So, again, I appreciate you, man, and, seeing you, what you're doing with the Michigan Chronicle. I look up, man, you got the tight fit suits on now, European style with the pointy toes, looking like me now.
I like, you know what?
What's
they
up?
Put me in the suit, man, and I'm different now. I'm the same person though, but it's a little different now. Got the beard going.
Hey, man, I love it. I love it.
I got to ask you, because, you cover basketball like crazy. So, I watch basketball. I don't watch it like I used to, high school basketball. But you got to tell me, in the city of Detroit, who's our next Chris Webber and Glenn Rice? Who's those next guys?
Oh, now you know what? I was just talking to somebody about this. There is not one high major player in the city right now.
No way.
There's not one high major kid. And from Detroit has, especially the DPS system itself, has had good basketball dating back since the 60s and 70s.
No doubt.
And so to say in 2019 there's not one high major kid is something we're not used to. When we've seen a lot of pro players, even from when I was covering high school, 2012 on up to a couple of years ago, a lot of pro players in the NBA right now, until they have this drought, is crazy. I've never seen it. So, it's some good kids out there, though, but you talking about a Chris Webber type player?
Yeah.
None.
Why do you think that is, B?
Well, a lot of them have left the state. Period.
Yeah.
They've left the state, and that's the main thing. I even got a list on my phone of all the players that have left since 2012. And you talk about a Josh Jackson or even Harlan Beverly right now at Montverde Academy. Terry Armstrong.
Yeah. Rocket.
So many kids.
Rocket.
Yeah. And all these kids have left. So Rocket would have been a Mr. Basketball or Michigan State commit, but he left, and all those kids have followed him, and that's going to be the trend unless something changes.
This prep schools, man, it's taking over the world for basketball, and football is slowly having the same thing. We had a few back in day ago, but not like basketball.
Yeah,
that's their next level.
Yeah,
but football is the same though, Brandon. It's just it's no more Mikey Webbers anymore, John Kellys and the J. Rules. It kind of fallen off. Be honest with you, man. It's a few players in the city, but not like it used to be.
It's not a whole lot of them. It's like you said, you got a few.
Yeah, I got a few.
But and it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad.
Yeah, you don't have that special kid. Like I talked to some of the old Cavs players, and they kind of disconnected because they're in college now, and they be like, "What's going on? Like, who's good on Cavs?" And I'm like, you know what? They got some good players though, but they don't have a JD or a J. Rule or a Mikey. They don't have that anymore. They got a really solid team, but they don't have that special player like they used to, and I don't know what that's attributed to in the state, but it's not like it when I was covering it.
And no knock against, the young guys that's doing their thing, it's, on their grind, but, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's just a different day, and
it's different.
It's way different, and I don't know, like you said, if people are just spreading out too thin, it's making things too thin. I don't know, but you do see the Kings, you see the Cast Techs. It's like you see the same teams now, over and over and over again.
Yeah. But do that have to do with a lot of not having good coaches anymore?
I don't know. I guess the coaches have gotten better. That's what people say. It wasn't as great back then, but I don't want to point to one thing. There's a lot of things going on.
Right.
No doubt.
With the consolidation of the schools.
Mm-hmm.
I guess play calling is a little bit better. And I guess the trenches game, that's what really most people attribute it to.
True.
Back then you didn't have the trenches to beat a king couldn't beat a CC because they didn't have the trenches.
Exactly.
No doubt.
But now they can, so then we can use our skill players to beat these teams. And like a CC, it's hard for them to beat a Cavs nowadays.
That's true.
Can't do it.
That's true.
But to be honest, a lot of kids are just not going to school anymore.
Yeah.
Not doing it. I mean, enrollment is so down, and that's all across the land.
Mm-hmm.
That's in Oakland County, Wayne County, and Macomb County.
Mm-hmm.
Enrollment has dropped. That's why they're merging so many schools. So we losing so many kids.
But when you say they're not going to school, they're just not. They're going to different schools, right?
No, some of them is not going to school at all. The enrollment is down. Schools either left or kids is just not going to school anymore. They're just trying to survive.
Mm.
Yeah, life had turned. It took a change for our kids, man.
Right. I see our guy Timothy Kason one, the OG. He just chimed in. He says failing school systems, and I think we all agree on that.
Yeah, no doubt, because a lot of parents and Brandon said it. Just taking the kids out of here because either it's just not a good place for my kid to be, the environment is tough, or it's just not enough. I mean, and these kids is out of control.
Yeah.
So
we talk about DPS. That's one of them. It's a reason why DPS is failing, and there's no kids in the system. There's no kids in the city like it used to be. We got under 700,000 people. You could have close to 2 million. So of course you can have all these schools open and you can have these D1 recruits, but the schools have to close when you don't have a population.
That's true.
And that's
that's how they get their funding.
Well. Yeah, how to fund it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got to put a game plan. We build the downtown city up looks so beautiful. We got to figure out a way to get these kids and get these schools up to par. Yeah. And what's crazy is all this quote unquote lottery money. Where's that going?
I always ask the same thing. What I've been told is so many schools, because you're talking about the whole state. So there's so many schools, and I couldn't give you a number, but it gets allocated between all the schools. So
it should be priority all the way down.
No, I agree.
First. Because right now, if you're blind, you can see what's going on. Mm-hmm. We shutting schools every day in the city.
Right? Yeah,
they closing.
Look at Pontiac and Detroit.
Man.
Pontiac, and that's hometown.
No doubt. But you know what? Shout out to Pontiac, and I'm glad we brought Pontiac up. To the basketball team. I know we the football show, but shout out to what they're doing.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Because they're doing it with with smoke and mirrors right now.
Yeah.
And so shout out to the coaching staff and the guys there, man.
Who's the coach up there?
I couldn't even tell you his name.
Oh wow, Brandon, you should know this. You the basketball guy.
I know our guy, the assistant coach, McNeil, Damon O'Neal.
Oh, Damon O'Neal.
He's the assistant coach, but I couldn't tell you who the head coach.
He used to be the man back in the day.
Yeah. So, but shout out to them, doing.
Yeah, and it's good to have some kudos for basketball and football, man. But what are we going to? I mean, I went to Pontiac to go watch a basketball game. They got to pat me down. That's not how we lived when we grew up. It wasn't like that. Going through the metal detectors anymore.
Yeah, but that starts at home.
Yeah,
that starts at home. You just hit it on the head. A lot of these kids, there was kids raising themselves when we were in high school, but now those numbers have multiplied. Yeah. You've got, unfortunately, you got babies raising babies. So you've got it's almost like a sister brother relationship, and it's sad. It's sad, and I think that's got to be where it started at. You know what I mean?
I just need to be fixed somewhere. We got to figure out a way to fix it, and hope to save more than what we're saving, because right now we're losing. Our children's by the dozen a day.
We are. But you know what? The beauty of sports is you can save some kids.
Yeah, I was one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I was one of them.
You can save some kids through sports. You always gonna have that one or two. I mean, you think about even, you want to talk about, a guy that's turned his life around is Ja Rule Campbell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know all of us know Ja Rule, familiar with the story, and to see where he was to where he is now, a Harlan Hill Trophy winner. That's like the Heisman, Division II Heisman.
See, I mean, Brandon, you know him just like I know him. I never thought he was a bad kid. I think he just got caught up in some different situations.
Right.
Everybody get caught up in, because I never thought the kid was bad. I always thought he was a good kid. He was just fighting demons.
Yeah. And we all have.
And he just got put on a magnifying glass, and they made it bigger than what it really was. Certain things. It was bad.
Right.
But I didn't think he ever was a bad kid. I talked to him, I hung out with him, and I went to watch him this season play a couple games, went up there and recruited him. Mm-hmm. And he's a different kid, man. And that's all through prayer, man. He's been phenomenal.
No doubt.
You know, so
I call it, being a victim of your circumstance.
No
doesn't
doubt.
make you a bad kid though, but if you in the hood, you bound to do something bad, probably, right?
Right.
It is what it is. You might not be that kid, but that's just the circumstance you've been placed in. And he had some unfortunate things happen, some bad decisions. And it was like a rolling effect. It just kept happening to him. But we're so glad to see. He got his bachelor's degree.
Yes.
Winning at Ferris State, and he changed his life around. Something that a lot of us probably didn't even see. I know a lot of people doubted him, but
no doubt.
It's so glad to see him rebound to what he is now.
No doubt.
Because I remember, when I was doing some things with Kurt and Max X, and taking those bus rides and singing on the bus, and I mean, I did a documentary when Cass was going for a three-peat, and I had a chance to interview Ja Rule. And like you said, Reg, not a bad kid. Nah. He just got caught up. And imagine if somebody caught us on camera in some of our worst situations. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest, because I know I done blew up sometimes. I'm like, man, by the grace of God, there wasn't a camera on me.
Yeah.
And then I know he had a situation with his girlfriend, but again, it's just easier said than done. So the point is, what I always tell kids is, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
How you finish, yeah.
And that's what people, because now he has a chance to build on his, I guess we can call his legacy. I mean, Ja Rule is, the guy was like a mini celebrity. I mean, when he started out as a freshman in the cast, winning a state championship. I mean, and to see where he's at now.
And we always say this, man, and J. Rule is around different people. My mom always say that you are who you hang with.
True that.
So he hang with a bunch of guys that want to achieve a common goal that he want to achieve. He want to play NFL. Mm-hmm. We don't want to smoke today. We want to go work out so we can get to the next level.
That's right.
And that's his goal. And I'm praying that he make it to that environment that he wants to be in. But he done some things that a lot of people have not done. He changed his whole environment.
Yeah.
And Brandon said it best, man. If you're in the hood, hey, shit's gonna happen. I'm sorry.
It is for real.
Hey, I knew he changed. I knew things changed when he cut his hair. I mean, not trying to be funny, but it's like he just transformed his whole hookup. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's what you got to do. You just got to change some things about yourself.
But people always say, well, his family wasn't there like that and this and that. But you know what? His family had to be there because his foundation changed him.
Oh, yeah.
So what he went through in life, he had a foundation.
Right.
So he wouldn't be who he is if he didn't have that foundation from his family.
Yeah, well, look, me and his mom is Facebook friends, and I see, she's always at his game. She's supporting him. I believe she's a single mom. You know what I mean? So, hey, I think my mom came to one high school game in my whole career, 3-year career. So
and you didn't start playing until your senior year.
Yeah, right.
That's why she didn't come.
Yeah, whatever. But I'm just saying, like you said, Reg, he has a support system.
No doubt.
And I'm just proud of him to see, where he's at and where he's been. So B, as far as with the Michigan Chronicle, what's some of the things that you got anything coming up? I know you did an article. I seen something that you just wrote about. You do so much, man. But it was something.
I do a lot. I'm over here thinking myself.
Yeah, something you just did recently, and I'm ashamed to say I can't remember, but I know it was something. Because you're doing more things, like you said, it's more dealing with social issues now, correct?
Yeah, I do it. I do a lot. Especially so we're a community paper, so we talk about the black community, what's going on in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about housing issues, poverty,
Sure,
employment, whatever's going on, pretty much in the neighborhood outside of Midtown, downtown. We do cover that, but for the most part, we're focused on the community. The authentic Detroiters, and that's what we talk about. Anything positive that's going to affect the black community.
So what do you think, being now that you're in this role, and Reg brought it up with the downtown, and it's a word that's thrown out there called gentrification?
Gentrification.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on that?
Obviously it's happening in Detroit. Now, I think it's a fine line between gentrification and development. People need to understand that. But there is a lot of gentrification going down in Detroit, where they pushing the black people out and bringing the white people in. Let's just be honest about that. Mm-hmm. So it is going on. And, of course, we don't want to see that. Now, I'm okay with development in downtown because any metropolis has to have a thriving downtown.
Right.
But we can't forget about the neighborhoods. And that's one thing that they need to focus on. So it was kind of hard when you got these, white developers coming in, and they're not from here. They don't care about the neighborhood.
Right.
They don't care about that. They only care about making the money, midtown, downtown. And so we just got to get some leaders in to help us revitalize our neighborhoods to where they used to be.
Right. And, I mean, no disrespect to Dan Gilbert, what he's doing, because he's done some great things. But what I remind people is he's a businessman.
He's a businessman, yep.
You know what I mean? Dan is making money. Let's not get it twisted. Yep. And it's no different from Mike Ilitch or if it was a Derek Denham. If I'm coming down there and if I make the place beautiful and pretty, guess what? People going to come down there and support my businesses. And they're going to support other people too. Now, again, I'm not knocking that. But it's a lot of staple businesses that were staples of the community that's gotten pushed out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because they can't afford the rent anymore.
Yeah.
So not to get into this whole, thing in the social ills that we're all dealing with, but I just think with you being part of a African American paper that's been around forever, you know what I mean? Because when you used to think of the Michigan Chronicle, what did you think of, Reg, when you was a kid? The church section?
Church, yeah. Hey.
Right.
Yeah, the church section for real.
That's what you thought of, the Michigan Chronicle.
Yeah.
And now that Hiram
That
Jackson.
was our refuge.
Right.
Yeah.
Hiram Jackson, I believe he's still Hiram there.
Oh, sure.
He's doing his thing. So, hey,
Church.
big ups to him to bring you into the fold, man, because, I think Hiram realized that you had the pulse of the city, and being a younger guy, it's easy to go get an old head, but to bring somebody in young, to bring some different energy, man, kudos for him for doing that.
Absolutely.
I always say, man, I got my ear to the streets. Like, I'm really in the streets, okay? Not in a bad way, though.
No doubt.
I'm really all about the people. Even when I was covering high school, I was all about the kids and the families. And I don't think I've ever said anything negative about a kid when I covered. Nothing.
I agree.
It was all about upping the kids, and I bring that same energy and concept to covering everything else in the city. It's all about, pretty much the black community priority first, and just bringing positivity to the city.
Well, I think that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think you have to talk about your own, so to speak, empowerment. And that's something that you always, and I'm proud of you, man. Like I said, you have the, talk a little bit about some of the ventures you have where you cleats for kids. And I think you've got some other things. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I founded my nonprofit a couple years ago, the Landon Maxwell Hunter Foundation, named after my son. And pretty much because I used to be one of those kids, so I played baseball when I was younger. And I remember I played in some Air Force Ones, all right? Those were my baseball shoes, and those were my everyday school shoes, all right?
Right.
And so for the most part, pretty much why I found that is because I used to be one of those kids, and I know what it's like not to have adequate footwear when you playing football, and I'm from Detroit. And, so when I was working at Dick's Sporting Goods, finding my way, they had all these cleats, and they would throw them away. And my boss used to ask me, how could people use these? I said, man, listen, I'm from Mack and Van Dyke. Everybody over there could use this, can use these cleats. And so I do my cleats for kids, where we try to give out brand new cleats to the kids in Detroit every year. I do my back to school drive. I remember my mama had 5 kids, and we all couldn't get pencils and book bags every year. It's that deep. So I give out book bags every year. I gave out 500 last year. We're gonna try to do probably double that this year. Hats and coats and gloves. I do that every year. So it's pretty much just trying to help the community out and try to help them out where they need.
Well, you're doing a great job with that, man, and then you got a guy over here that's a coach, man. Whereas, what do you guys do with the cleats over there that you don't use? How does that work?
We have a foundation as well, and Eric Wynn's Living Legacy Foundation. And my thought is your thought, and we give cleats away. Our NFL donate cleats to me, and I gave some away at our flag foundation game we did. We do it every year with all the fraternities and sororities and all the guys that want to play. So NFL, Devin Funches, Chooks Okafor from the Steelers,
Matt Judon.
And then one of my young fellows who played with me in 707, he had brought over 100 pair of cleats from Hillsdale College. And we gave those away. I still probably got about 8 pair in the garage. That's over 16, 17 shoes. If you know somebody in them big old jokers, they can give them away.
Man,
but I see with backpack, we give it every way. We go to Saginaw and give 500 backpacks away to the church where my son went. So you're doing the right thing. You keep doing that. And if our foundation can be a big help to that, you let me know, because we come down, give you some cleats, find some backpacks, and help donate as well, because that's what it's all about, helping the unfortunate. Man, we have to do that.
No doubt. No, and again, Brandon, you being a younger guy, and I don't want to keep, harping on that, but there's a lot of people your age, man, they doing different things.
Man, how old are you, man? You ain't that old.
No, Brandon, how old are you, man?
I'm getting there, man. I'm 28.
Oh, you're 28? Oh, my God.
28.
I thought you were 39.
Nah, man. I'm getting there. I'm only 28, though.
What your grandma said, baby, you just got an old soul.
I get around a minute, man. That's all it is.
But that's my point. I mean, there's so many guys, Brandon's age and younger, man, is doing not so positive things. Let me just say that.
No, not at your age.
Yeah, I mean, and again, man, anytime I pick up the phone and I need some help from Brandon and Reg, I know you can say the same. He always comes through.
No, he do. Even though he had to drive that 45-minute drive from the city to the Oakland to Pontiac, so he always come through. You know what I mean? So. I don't know, AB. I'm very interested in trying to get involved with some of these cliques. I can talk to all my NFL guys, and if we can split it and you give you some and I can take some and I can get mine away. But I would love to be part of that, because, I call Burbridge and all these guys, hey, coach, need help. No doubt. And I'm asking for your team. And they throw their cliques away every year in NFL as well as the high schools. Like at Southfield, them kids, they throw their brand new cliques away. I'll bag them jokers up, put some water and soap on them and clean them up and give them away.
Man, and that's what I'm trying to do. That's like I'm trying to tap into all these stores around here, because they literally throw them away.
Throw them away.
No doubt.
It's a whole network out here of kids who need those and parents who can use that help. And that was my whole thought process behind doing it.
Well, man, like I said, kudos to you, what you're doing. Again, kudos for you helping the kids that we've shot your way over the years, man. And, let me ask you this. So for those parents that's out there listening or watching, and you being, like I said, working with, people like the Wolverine and Michigan Preps, and people always want to know, man, and because I see some people online now that has kids that's playing football, and everybody's into this recruiting piece. Everybody want, something. What would you advise them?
That's my quick. Yeah.
What would you advise them? Give them some advice, man.
About recruiting?
Yeah, I want.
Yeah, but the process.
Yeah, well, him being a writer. You know
yeah.
what I mean, and because he's a writer, people just they automatically think that he's got he is some magic. It's a magic wand that he can wave over to help get a kid. What advice would you have for those out there, those people out there?
You know what? It's kind of hard, but I guess one thing I always said was attend camps. Have some film or promote your kid. And so I wasn't necessarily mad at the parents who always came to me about their kid. It might be annoying sometimes, let's be real now, but I like that. Promote your kid.
No doubt.
Of course, if you think your baby good, then think your baby good.
Mm-hmm.
Hit up all these writers. Go to these camps. Talk to these coaches if you can, but continue to be persistent in trying to get your kid that offer. And like I said, you're going to hear that answer. If they think that he's good, then you will see. You'll get that offer. And if they don't think he's good, then it just won't happen for you. But continue to be persistent and in getting your kid in college.
I know about it. I say this all the time to the kids and parents, and you are the biggest advocate for yourself. As a parent, you are the biggest advocate for your child. Mm-hmm. So if you don't learn, shame on you. If you don't act, shame on you, because there's a lot of knowledge around this neighborhood that can help you. And whether you like it or not, Blackwell he do a good job giving you information, as well as Reggie and Brandon Hunter and a few other guys. So if you don't act and your son loses scholarship, shame on you. And disappointing as hell to me, excuse my language, but it's very disappointing when we have a kid that has 15 and 20 scholarship and nobody can help them understand the process. And then you lose your scholarship. Now we scrambling
at the end.
Yeah. You know what? I got a great story. I tell everybody this. One parent I want to give a shout out to, because he was persistent in trying to get his kids some exposure, was Jermaine Antoine.
Oh my
God! I tell this story because Jermaine came all the way from Pontiac, and he brought me Five Guys, which is super expensive. Okay. Right. And I'm like, bro, first of all, I'm going to do the story for you, but please don't buy me this Five Guys because this costs too much money. He came all the way down to the Greek Town Casino and brought me lunch, and I talked to him and his son, Jamar. And so, Jermaine was one of those parents who was persistent in trying to get his kid. And where they from?
Pontiac.
Yaktown, baby.
Pontiac, yeah, man. So,
well, Pontiac cats, man, we it's like Detroit is like that. Now I'm going to say this, Reds is next to me, but it's like that big brother. And we gotta. It's like we've gotta. How you hear the Napoleon complex. It's like Detroit is like that. We've got to show that we hey, look at us too. So we have that fight in us, man, and it's that hustle too. You know what I mean? So you look at a guy like Jermaine Antoine, the D Woods, the D Woods of the world. I mean, these guys. More power to them because they love their kids.
Hey. And Brandon, we have to really educate our parents about listening.
No doubt.
I'm not saying I'm not saying Brandon Hunter to take whatever word that I say and do whatever I tell you to do. But what I'm telling you, listen.
Yes, you are.
No, I know. I don't want you to, but I want you to listen
right.
and make a conscious decision. So if I say something and Blackwell say something and Brandon say something, guess what? You compile all that information together and make a conscious decision. But don't sit there and lean on your own understanding and you don't know a damn thing what's going on about the recruiting process.
That's right.
And then now your baby's not going to school because we've refused to listen.
To listen, yeah.
And what I always tell people, Reg and Brandon, find you a mentor. Find you someone that's been through the process before. You know what I mean? Find somebody that had a comparable situation that you can bounce things off of. You know what I mean? Because you find out everybody think they know everything. You know what I mean? And then like Red said, they find out they don't. Then at the last minute, they're scrambling.
But here's the biggest piece, B. It's simple as Googling the question that you want to hear.
Exactly.
Okay, how do I get recruited?
Right.
Google.
Right.
Google, how do I get recruited?
Right.
He'll tell you.
Right.
Call Brandon Hunter. He'll tell you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
we have to be able to listen and learn and read. Like read the book, and the book will tell you the answer.
No doubt. No doubt.
So
I think. Oh, go ahead.
No, you
go ahead. Go ahead, B.
I was saying, we was talking about, get you a mentor, get in the group. They got look on Facebook. I think one of the guys, I even talked to him last week about his son, was Brian Marshall. Great advice.
Yep.
And not because he had kids who've been through it, because he went through it.
No doubt,
he
no
had
doubt.
brothers who went through it. So that's one thing we want to get into. Get some mentors, get some people who's been through the process, and pick their brains.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, I mean, the key word we learn, we speaking about today is listen. Please listen, family. I mean, just ask questions and listen, because you're not just jeopardizing your child, your life. Your child's life has been in jeopardy because we failing them. We are failing because we won't listen or ask questions. And I don't have all the answers, Mama and Daddy.
Right.
I don't. So you're gonna have to sometime call Google up and ask that question.
That's right.
Or call Brandon Hunter, and he'll tell you the same thing.
That's right. And in addition to the names you just mentioned, that's why I say everybody knows somebody. If you're in the football game, you know a parent that should at this point that's been through the process.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? That you can say, hey, Ross People Jones, hey, what's some of the things you did? What's some of the mistakes you made? Because you learn more from mistakes than you do in anything.
Oh, no doubt. And I know you can call Rosin and talk to her anytime. She'll give you a whole recruiting page. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Tanya over there, Hamler, because you give a whole lot of recruiting questions, answers as well. So it just take 10 minutes to sit down, man, and buy somebody a hamburger and cheeseburger and fries and just talk over business, man. And whatever it takes to get you to where you need to be at, let's do that. And we talked about Fitzpatrick and when he did all the recruiting and all the videos for his sons and how he would video and send and put it on Twitter. Hey, everybody's doing it now.
Everybody.
And it's okay. That's what you want to do.
No doubt.
So you got to promote your baby and you got to put somebody so people see. And we as men, we do better with visual. So show me.
There you go. There you go. That's it. That's it. Brandon, let me ask you this. Seeing that you've covered a lot of kids over the years, man, what's that one kid, and right, come that curveball. And I'm gonna throw you one out from our area in Pontiac. There's a kid named, and Brandon, you and I discussed him before, but there's a kid, I'm gonna call it the greatest you never heard of. And that kid was Maurice Seawright.
Okay. I'm familiar with him.
In Pontiac. You know what I mean? Yeah. He was the guy that people No. Let me get to my point.
I get your point.
He was the guy that when you talk about in New York, when they talk about the guy that was the GOAT, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he was that basketball guy that people used to talk about from the playground. You know what I mean? That didn't make it. Mm-hmm. Maurice is that guy for us, in my opinion, that could have played on Sundays. He could have played in NBA. I took Maurice up personally to Michigan and talked to Lloyd Carr. And Lloyd Carr looked at Seawright like he was Superman and walked into the building. And everybody else looked at this guy like he was God. And he told Maurice, Maurice said, Coach, I want to play football after he got kicked off the basketball team. He said, Maurice, I begged you just to play special teams for me. I begged you to do that for me. And again, some of the things that kid did was phenomenal. And unfortunately, now he's just one of those guys, folklore. You know what I mean? It's people just woulda, coulda, shoulda. So in Detroit, some of the kids that you've covered, give me a name of one person that people that fit that same dynamic. Give me one name.
I forgot the kid name. I know he played at Denby. He played wide receiver at Denby like 2013, 2014, one
That's
of those.
recent.
Because I remember this because he was killing Avonte Maddox, all right? He was killing. And what Avonte doing right now? He's playing cornerback, starting cornerback.
Starting for the
Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, so I forgot his name, but I know he played for Blankenship at Denby. Mm-hmm. Raynard Lewis was his quarterback. Raynard had an incredible arm. But this kid was a wide receiver. He's a transfer from Southeastern. I forgot his name, but he was so good. But I believe he had like kids. He couldn't get his grades together, something like that. but I got to find it. I'm trying to find his name right now, but he was so good, and I remember that so well because he was doing Avonte Maddox so wrong, and I was like, wow, this is Avonte Maddox, man, and that kid was so good, but he had those family problems, you know.
Right.
I wonder who that was.
And that's sad.
That's what I'm saying. That is sad.
It's sad, man, because like I said, going back to Maurice, this is a true story. Maurice went to Orchard Lake St. Mary's. He was an inner city kid from Pontiac. And Maurice made All-State as a sixth man in basketball.
Yeah.
Are you listening to me? Maurice, when he was on the football team, they would be down maybe 2 touchdowns. Porter say, Maurice get in the game, throw 2 bombs, now we up, sit him back down. You know what I mean? And so I'm just saying he was just one of those guys that, one more story. Stan Edwards. Yep. This is I give you nothing but truth right now. Yes. I called Stan and I said, Stan, I want to help this kid, Maurice C. Wright. He said, I know who you are because Stan broadcast some of the state championship games. Stan called Maurice C. Wright on the phone. Braylon had just got drafted, number 3 in the, I can't remember what draft it was, 2007, something like that.
I think 7, yeah.
He said, Maurice, you're not Stan, this is Stan Edwards. Braylon, my son just got drafted number 3. He said, Maurice, you're better than my son right now. Mind you, Maurice hadn't played football since high school. He said, you're better than my son right now, and he just signed a $28 million contract. And he wasn't, and when Stan said that, he wasn't lying. He was being honest. And that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So I just wanted to know who that kid was in Detroit.
Malik Whitehead. That was his name.
Malik Whitehead.
Yeah. Like I believe he was so good. He just had a lot of family issues, but I know he last played for Denby, and I don't know what happened to him after that, but I know he was giving Avonte Maddox 6. Avonte might remember that.
I have one better, and Derek probably can remember this kid.
Okay.
Dante Robinson.
Oh.
Out of Pontiac, and rest his soul. He was murdered.
Rest in peace.
At an early age, but he was outstanding. I coach a semi-pro game with grown men playing. He played running back at the 1-yard line, holding the ball like a loaf of bread. He outran every grown man in the field. The Raiders was there, and they like, who is this guy? And we told him who he was, and he couldn't get right.
Couldn't get right.
So
didn't he, Reg, and correct me if I'm wrong, did the Tigers come after him too? Detroit Tigers?
Baseball came after him as well. The Miners and the Tigers, yes. He was so talented, it was scary.
He was.
But we couldn't keep him. I mean, he probably wouldn't come to practice for 5 days. He'd come to the game. I know he was just, poor baby, he was the best I've seen out of Pontiac that did some things. And we had a lot of guys out of Pontiac that was good. But he was special, and we couldn't save him.
Couldn't save him.
And Brandon, that's probably the most heartfelt that I heard, because the Whitehead kid you talking about, we couldn't save him. And J. Rue got enough support from the city to be saved.
Yeah.
And then C. Wright, we couldn't save him because C. Wright was dynamic. He was special. He was gifted. But we couldn't save him because we didn't know how to save ourselves at the time. And wow, when are we going to stop being this crab in the barrel, pull each other down, and start supporting some of these guys and mentoring some of the young men and save them? Because we don't save them, ain't nobody going to save them.
But I think what happens, guys, and you can tell me if you agree or not, we get so enamored with the athletic ability of these guys that sometimes we miss the most important part. C. Wright, for example, mom was alcoholic, different situations, staying with Duck. Guys in the streets, this is a true story, guys, that was in the streets doing their thing, used to bet on C. Wright and have him race. like a racehorse.
Hey, that is true. I'm driving down the street. I see David Bowens for the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
I see, I can't remember my man from Flint. God.
What position? What did he play?
He played receiver with the Flint. He stayed on Marshall. Anyway, they was out there racing, so they flagged me down Because at the time, back in the day, I was one of the fastest guys in the city of Pontiac.
Yes, you were.
They tried to get. I would think I had to be about mid-30, talking about racing C-Rec. Y'all crazy. Man, it's $500 on the table. I don't need no money. I ain't racing that kid.
Yeah, they used to make money off of him.
I know. I watched him run. I know.
I'm looking at it.
Redmond, D-Red.
D-Red. West Bloomfield.
Yeah, West Bloomfield.
Yeah.
He's from Farmington, but he's from Pontiac. But yeah, they used to race for money. But yeah, we have to figure out a way. And see the things that you're doing out in the city, Brandon, and saving souls and getting cliques and raising money for our neighborhood kids. That's the way you go, man.
Yes, sir.
And that's the way you go. You got to give back, man. No matter you don't have, you still try to give back.
That's right.
Yep.
Even though you've been through what you've been through, man. But God bless you in many ways, man. And again, I'm proud of you, man. I know how to tell. Cause we went through it in Pontiac. I went through it. Mm-hmm. I remember. I know about the homeless. So just keep on the grind, baby. And I want to be part of whatever you're doing because I support and I get cliques. I don't have a lot of money, but I can find you some shoes, baby.
Right.
Hey, that's all we trying to do, right?
Right.
Hey, B, well, hey, man, look, we really appreciate you, man. I'm glad I know you got some other things going tonight, so I appreciate you coming on and lending your wisdom to the listeners and people that's viewing. So, man, much love to you, man. I know you got, I always hear you say with your son, hey, I know you're trying to get some offers for him now, from all these parents.
That's right, man. I'm about to get that crazy parent. Here we go.
So it's your turn. It's your turn.
It's
so
my turn.
Hey, look, we be talking about him in year 2035. So
that's right. I always say, man, now I understand why the parents like they work because that's their baby.
No
and
doubt.
Nobody better than my baby.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, man, much love to you, man. We gonna talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, bro. We'll talk to you.
All right, B Hunt. Thank you, babe.
Hey, Reg, we
Good
got.
talking to you.
Okay,
right.
man. We got about a minute and a half left, and always good talking to B Hunt, man.
Oh, no doubt about it, man. I never knew his story, man, but
Yeah,
I mean, the ones that are successful, the ones that have been through a lot.
no doubt.
And people can say they want to say because those are the ones who want to survive. Those are the ones who go through the grind. Those are the ones who don't give up because they was fighting their whole lives.
There you go.
So you just keep swinging, and eventually it's going to work. And I use this word to be successful is consistency, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Staying consistent and staying prayed up. And now he have a son of his own, so now life means that much more to him.
Yes.
So I'm really proud of B Hunt, man. He's always been around for me, and despite the city of Detroit, Oakland County, he always supported what we have done, and he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, supporting one another.
That's what it's all about, man. And I know, like I said, every chance he gets, he talks about the city of Detroit, specifically Detroit King. And again, kudos to him, man. And whatever we can do, moving forward, let's make sure we support him.
Oh, no doubt. And then just give him cliques or whatever he need, little money for here and there to support homeless. Let's just do that, So, real quick, February 6th is signing day.
Okay.
So we hope we're getting ready. I'm trying to help some of these guys get in school. It's frustrating when the guys that want to get in school,
Right.
because they don't want to do their own legwork and they rely on someone to do it for them. And just a quick tidbit for you: if you do not sign on February 3rd, you still have a chance.
Okay.
And the media is pushing you to sign on February 3rd.
Sure.
Because it's just a media day. So now what you do is, if you don't sign, you can sign all the way to July.
Right.
So look for the school that you want, and look for it and sign for it. Okay. And you can sign in July. So don't get discouraged. Look for the right place for you. Don't just accept something to sign with your homeboy Bobby. All right.
Right.
All right.
Hey, man, well, look, we got to run. I know my engineer over here says it's time to wrap it up. So, hey, man, appreciate all you guys listening. We'll be back same time, same place, same website, same channel. We'll be back next week to